couldn't write. I got heavy into drinking, experimenting with other various hard drugs, and I just was trying to put a cap on the pain of, my world falling apart, I thought, and nothing could suffice. I remember one time during this time, Zabian had come over to my house. I was living in Meridian at the time, and he was all the way in downtown Boise. I was like, I don't got no money, man. I'm about a tall boy. And, he's like, I'll come over, man. Screw it. So that's usually, we would come over to the other person's house and just sit there for hours and write something new. That was the plan. Don't leave without a new verse or new song. And he came over, and I was already drunk. And I remember him just like sitting there looking at me and, dude, what's going on? And I don't know. I'm not really in the mood, dude. It's like, he's like, are you kidding me? I just drove all the way here. That like, this is what we do. And it was like a big deal, and things started to go, downhill from there. And I just took everything harder and harder. That same drive that I had with him improving my situation in my dreams, it's like I just lost all that. That motivation to overcome any sort of adversity was gone. I was just, leave me here, let me die type of mentality.
Yeah. Was there some sort of catalyst that got you to that place?
Yeah, I had the utmost confidence in every arena, especially in my my image, if you will. Right.
Right.
And at the time, I found out the woman who had actually stuck around, which I'm grateful for. My daughter was born, but also I probably shouldn't have stayed with her. But I stayed with her for a while. I found out she was with somebody for a year behind my back. I would go to shows or go do a night shift at KFC, you know what I mean? And I'd be like, I just put gas in your car yesterday. Why is it? That's weird. I started noticing things, and then all of a sudden it came to fruition, came to light. The truth did. And I just I had all this confidence. I could step on any stage and have no problem looking somebody I've never met dead in the eye and rapping my little heart out to them,
Yeah.
And then it just became this, I don't even want to be around anyone, because it made me feel like I am not who I thought I was or something. I'm not good enough, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it just destroyed me.
I'm not saying it was true, but it makes sense, the line of thinking.
It is true. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it was a pretty bad fallout with that girl. I had a daughter named Ava. She just turned 6 on tax day, or 15.
Nice.
And we haven't been together since before she was born. I was deep into my addiction, hardcore. Wasn't exactly I was kind if I wanted to be, but towards a lot of people, I would be violent, belligerent if I drank too much whiskey. It was just bad. I'd get in fights a lot. And I don't blame her for not wanting my daughter around me. So, because I deserved that. I wasn't ready. It's taken me how many years to finally be like, I'm in control, or to know I'm not in control, I should say.
Yeah.
It's good that you had that. It sucks that you were in that situation, but it's good that you had the self-awareness to at least be able to accept that, like, maybe she wasn't necessarily trying to hurt you by keeping you from your daughter, but more to protect the little one.
Yeah.
As opposed to the other way around. So that takes a certain level of emotional maturity, no matter what state you're in, to realize that. So, kudos to you.
And was that a hindsight acknowledgement, or were you capable of seeing that in the time at the moment?
Definitely a hindsight.
Okay.
Yeah, I lived with a victim mind state up until probably a year and a half or 2 years ago. This is a newfound necessity.
Yeah.
I would say what I do now today, it's absolutely essential for me to continue, for me to not be that way. So
dude, I just want to throw this out there, like, watching the progression that I've at least seen from you, looking at it from an objective point of view over the last year and a half, has been, like, number one reason why you're on I wanted you to get on the podcast because I've seen it, like just an innocent bystander looking in at your life, like obviously not being able to see the internal struggles that you deal with or whatever that everyone deals with. I don't see that, but I see the external results of the lifestyle that you've chosen to live over the last year and a half we've known each other for longer, right? But
Yeah.
like what I've really seen is within the last year and a half. And so like, I want you to know that even though we don't get to kick it that often, I see it. And if I see it, other people are seeing that too. And not like that's the way that you interact with the world, like the types of things that you're saying on your social media platforms, and you getting back into music. It's a huge inspiration to look at that and be like, hell yeah, this guy is going after his dreams again, that at one point you could totally tell were fucking not important to him. So I just want you to know that I'm proud of you. And I'm glad that I've been able to watch it happen over the last while.
Yeah, it got bad to the point where I was homeless, living on the river. You know what I mean? It was really bad. It got real bad into methamphetamine, you know, to the point that it was like, oh, I don't drink because I'm doing meth all the time.
Yeah,
I quit drinking.
Yeah,
I just do meth. So it was real bad. And then there was times where I ran from a misdemeanor probation situation, and like I would be living at my friend's couch again, same one, and I would write a whole new album with him, and then on paper, you know, because I never had money for anything else to back it up or anything, you know, and bless you. And then I'd go to jail.
Thank you.
Go to jail for 6 months and get out, and almost all of my belongings, including all those verses, the papers I wrote, were gone. So I'd write some more stuff. And then I'd meet somebody that had a great hookup for drugs, and I decided that, oh, yeah, that's what I like, not this, and just throw it all away again and lose those verses. So I've probably written like 3 new albums that will never see the light of day because I don't know what they said. You know, I remember like 2 or 3 verses from those days. It's one of those things that it's like opening a wound every time I open up a program to make a song, like try to do it. It's like, okay, got to stick to doing it because it's one of those, I don't know, it's an odd situation. So I started writing new stuff about 2 years ago, and then I set it down again. But I kept it. I kept all the writings because I've been sober.
Yeah.
And then I started writing again, and recently I started really doing it. Got a laptop and a program, been making beats again to keep those creative juices flowing, if you will. So that's where that's at.
Hell yeah. Dude, I've seen some of the last couple of things that you posted on your Instagram, and it's just like the beats are so good. Like I feel it, you know. I feel in my heart that what you're putting into it. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy.
I'd like to think you're not crazy. Yeah. That last one I'm really proud of. The latest one I posted on there, definitely on my Instagram. Yeah. I'm enjoying.
Yeah.
So.
For sure. So this is the Personal Growth Podcast, right?
Absolutely.
What kind of stuff have you been doing over the last year that has like given you this newfound motivation and like drive?
Yeah, that's yes, the reason we're all here. Number one, and this is something that I think I've started believing 100% probably over the past 8 months, I'll say like 100%, that I am not the center of the universe. I am merely a part of it. That's right.
Because I am.
Exactly. Therefore, we all orbit Eric.
Yeah.
And there is no genius greater than the supernova that is Eric.
Oh, man.
You should put that in your tagline.
I will. I'm gonna, and I'll credit righteous.
Perfect. Yeah, that I'm made up of particles and matter, and I'm a fungus. Did you know that? We're fungus. We share more in common with mycelium than we do any other species.
Like psilocybin?
Of all the soil. No, mushrooms.
Yeah, but psilocybin.
Well, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I just heard something. Is that what it is? Mycelium, psilocybin?
Well, psilocybin is like the magic mushroom.
Oh, not that. I mean, maybe that's where the intelligence comes from. I don't know.
Yeah, there is some sort of connecting to some consciousness that is not mine, for sure. And you don't need psilocybin to make that happen. Like meditation works wonders for that too.
Absolutely.
Carry on. Sorry, I totally cut you off.
No, you're fine. I went ADD on being mushrooms and stuff. So, yeah, I am here for being along the ride, you know, and coming to that belief started to make me think about the fact that what is time? You know, why do I think time takes so long, or why did that time go by so fast? All right, all these things, and I started to think about, okay, I'm just a part of the universe. In the scheme of the universe, here is my little tiny little grain of sand, you know. And then I started thinking of the things that I think about on the daily. This is when I started like changing, you know, what I thought, how I thought. This is just the tiniest little grain of sand compared to the big picture of where I'm trying to go. So if I can buckle down and stay disciplined and do what I got to do, suck it up for this couple months or something, I'll be able to live the next 20, 30 years where I want to be living it, you know?
Yeah.
So that was the first thing, really. And the other part was finding, you know, I started thinking about, you know, I played football in high school, middle school, grade school, all that, right? And I was really good at it. I started middle linebacker and on the O-line too. Every special team, I never left the field but once to throw up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I quit that because I wasn't having fun. So they stopped playing me at linebacker, and I said, peace. And, you know, I was like, why was I thought about the times I was doing my best. It was the times that I was under adversity that I was getting, come on, you can do better than that, or, you know, not getting acknowledgement of me working hard until it was absolutely great. Now, this is going to sound crazy, but I think the coaches that I had at the time were really good coaches on a psychological level because they seen that in me, that I would work harder until I was seeking validation. I was seeking an attaboy or a good job.
Right, right.
And I would work harder and harder and keep going until I got it.
Yeah.
So they would literally wait until the end of the game to go, you had a great game, great job. And all the other kids would get, good job, get off the field, you know, hey, great job. I thought about that years later. I'm like, that's genius. You know, so I started doing that to myself.
Okay.
Now, it's kind of obscene how I talk to myself. You know, I showed you some videos of other people that are extreme with their thoughts, but I literally have to talk to myself like I'm a weak, excuse-making, can I say that? A bitch? Can I say a bitch on here?
Yeah, say it. Yeah.
Sure.
I was being a fucking bitch, all right?
Yeah.
And I took, you know, I'm in recovery, and my sponsor told me, you know, that he had been through anger management classes and all this stuff before, and I deal with anger a lot. You know, like I said, I used to be violent. And he's like, the anger never goes away. I've probably been through a dozen different classes they made me take. And it doesn't go away. What changes is how you use that energy. It's all energy, right? I'm here talking about the universe, da-da-da. Well, I can take that that's going this way, stop it, and move it that way, right?
Hell yeah.
Right.
So I can use my anger, you know, dissect it. Why? You know, take the wires apart and rewire it, change the thing.
Yeah.
So
have you heard the like the idea that anger is a secondary emotion to fear?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's where I'm going with this.
Okay, go ahead.
That's what I no, you're fine. Great segue, Dwayne Perza. So it was that thought that sparked the idea, you know, learning about it and rewiring the brain, that I can change the course of how I react, right? Those emotions.
Yeah.
So what am I scared of? You know, why do I get mad? Because someone said something I'm insecure about, or something I'm insecure, you know, it literally is that, you know. So therefore, if I change the things that I know if I write a list and be honest,